Everyone loves camp. Mr. Rivers, camp is great. You were a child of the 90s, just like me, so you remember Salute Your Shorts. You remember Camp Anawana, right?
We hold you in our hearts.
Exactly. And since you remember that, allow me to blow your mind, because 25 years later, just uncovered this today, the cast of the 90s hit Nickelodeon show Salute Your Shorts. Just this past May at a reunion in Oregon, Michael and Budnick look to have made some questionable life choices, but Dina, Telly, ZZ Ugg, even your boy Donkey Lips, all still looking good. The entire crew from Camp Anawana back together, minus, of course, the ever-elusive Dr. Khan. And every day that this thing remains unsolved, then that spot remains open. Then you look over on the defensive side of the ball with Alabama, you got a freshman, a true freshman, in Mika Fitzpatrick, who a grand total of 2.5 weeks into camp has taken over starting duties at cornerback from former five-star in his own right, Tony Brown. So those are some interesting moves, some veterans not taking advantage and a freshman taking advantage.
Well, one, some people may see that as a detriment. I think it's the best thing for Alabama because, again, you've brought in so much talent and versatility. Competition is at its highest right now. And I'm not knocking Javon Robinson. He may be that guy third, fourth, fifth game into the season or even day one. But you have to understand it takes him time to understand what it is that he's doing. So that's one thing that stuck out to me because of the presumption of how big and bad he was going to be coming into Auburn.
Alex Kozan is right now in the battle of his life with Devontae Danzy at that left guard spot. And then you got Xavier Dampier at center fighting with Austin Golson. This is what it does, because I couldn't really care less who wins the job. What it does is it makes me feel a lot better about Auburn along the offensive line. I remember back in spring I kept saying, you know, you got some questions here. Alex Kozan, you know, he comes back. You hope you get him back 100%. Still questions with Braden Smith. You know, does the center work out? You lose Reese Mukes. The more quality options you have, the higher percentage chance you'll have a quality unit. It looks like that's what Auburn has on the offensive line. And well, Riley Williams is probably going to be counted on to log some serious carries this season. They think he's capable. Brett Bielema thinks he's capable. He needs to be capable because one man alone is not going to carry the load that Arkansas needs them to carry offensively. Kevin in Catala wants to know who we think will win SEC Head Coach of the Year.
You know, the funny thing about a question like this, some coaches have to win the conference or win their division to win Coach of the Year, and some don't. I'd say Mark Richt this year. And I think he's one of those coaches that has to win his division, and I think they'll win the SEC East. And I think he'll win Coach of the Year simply because of the adjustments he's made coming into this season.
We had a question, I think it was last week. Someone asked, who's the best head coach in the SEC East? And I said, don't overthink the room here. A lot of people want to overthink the room. It's Mark Richt. There's no question who the best head coach in the SEC East is today. I want to know what the answer to this is in 5 years. I want to know what the answer to that question is in 3 years, because a lot of what Mark Richt has, I think Butch Jones has in abundance as well. Which team is in the best spot to make a surprise run in the SEC this season? That is Jake in Phoenix City.
I hope somebody's recording this because I honestly believe that Texas A&M has the best shot. But the operative word is surprise. And the reason I say this is because they have 12 games this year. They play 9 games in the state of Texas.
Yeah, they do. I'll pick the other team you'd never expect you to. The South Carolina Gamecocks. What do you expect from South Carolina this year?
Are you asking me? I don't even want to answer that.
Neither do I. That's why it would be very much a surprise.
I don't have too much to say about that.
But you did have a question, didn't you?
Yeah, I want to know where we're being watched.
Well, we're being watched by Ted. He's in Waverly Hall, Georgia, former home of the Mariners. We are being watched by Dolores. She's in Columbus, former home of, say, the Edgewood Red Devils.
No doubt.
And Michael is out in Opelika, and I have no earthly idea what Little League teams play out there, but wherever you are, however you are watching us,
thank you.
Shout out to the Opelika Bulldogs. We appreciate it. I think you should probably tune in every Monday.
And we'll be keeping tabs, you know, so we'll have the whole win-loss thing, who's ahead, who's not, and we'll be talking trash the whole season.
And then when it becomes a blowout in my favor around early November, we'll find another way to keep it interesting. Jonathan Rivers, best new director in the business, Hazmat. I'm Josh Pate. Thanks for watching.